Today's practice is all about the sun. On Wednesday, June 21st, in the 2023 year, our summer solstice occurs at 9:58 a.m. here in the Midwest. The solstice is an exact moment, so it's not the whole day, it's this exact moment in time. And here in the northern hemisphere, it's when our North Pole is tilting most towards the sun in its direction. So the South Pole would of course be tilting away, and this means that the southern hemisphere is enjoying their winter solstice at the same time that we're enjoying our summer solstice. So what we're enjoying with the summer solstice is the longest day of the year, the most sunlight that we have. We'll have about 16 hours of sunlight today, and then in the next few days and weeks that follow, the sunlight will get progressively shorter every day. So this is our peak right now of sunlight. So as we practice, we're going to keep this in mind. This practice today is going to focus on the energy of the sun. In Ayurveda, it's said that we are like little tiny examples of the universe. We are microcosms of the macrocosm. We reflect all of the qualities of the universe, and that includes the sun. The quality of the sun is considered to be masculine, not necessarily in gender, but in its energy. It's powerful, it's creating, it's of course heating, and it's responsible for our sense of strength, empowerment, self-esteem, and motivation. That's how it usually manifests in us. It's said to be related to the third chakra, so that's our element of fire in the belly. Third chakra is right around your solar plexus. So I often think of the pilot light, like a little pilot light in a furnace here. This would be where our solar energy is, and we kind of will keep our mind focused on that today. It might be nice also to reflect on what this power of the sun really means. It's not just about heat, and it's not just about light. So I've got a few little bits of trivia to share with you. We know that the sun is huge. It's over 1 million times larger than the Earth. And its power comes also with its gravitational pull. So it's so strong that it's the sun's gravitational pull that holds our entire solar system together. Every second, the sun's producing about 650,000 times as much energy as the Earth consumes in an entire year. But in addition to thinking about heat and light, the sun also creates our winds. So as heat is received on the Earth's surface, it's received kind of variably. So different parts of the Earth, of course, absorbs this heat differently. And this causes the air above the Earth to shift. So high pressure areas are going to flow towards low pressure areas. And then also the heat of the sun influences the rain. So as the heat of the sun is absorbed into the Earth's surface, water evaporates into the atmosphere, and rain is created. As we work in this practice, we'll be working with sun salutations and variations of sun salutations, and we'll also be working with third chakra. Now, this practice could be a heat building practice, and if you're inside in air conditioning or if it's cool outside, that's wonderful. Be careful though that you don't overheat. Typically the solstice, the 20th or 21st of June, isn't the hottest time of the year. As all of the heat that's been absorbed by the Earth's surface starts to be released back into the atmosphere, our hottest days are usually a little later in July or August. But again, monitor, because that can be variable. And we want to work with this energy and work with this heat energy, but not exacerbate it. That can lead to feeling rajasic, irritable, kind of cranky, grabby. So monitor yourself, and I'll offer options to help keep the practice a little bit more cooling. So you're going to be responsible for checking your own thermostat as you work today. I know this probably sounded a little bit like a science lesson this morning, but I wanted to bring us into the right frame of mind for our practice. I wanted us to be on target with the kind of energy we're cultivating this morning with this practice. This practice isn't just related to the summer solstice. Anytime that we feel our element of fire, that solar energy is low in our system, we can think about cultivating that with our practice. This time of year, the summer solstice, is associated with a period of high productivity in our calendar year in the cycle. And in our life, it was related to our midlife when we're being the most powerful and productive. Now, as we are young, we're learning. We're not necessarily focused on productivity. And as we get older, our energy begins to draw in a little bit and we become more introspective. But this solar energy is really related to us being out in the world and creating and influencing and interacting. So that's the energy we're working with today. As far as things to think about and ways to direct our mind, we may want to think a little bit about how we're interacting in the world, what we're creating, what we're contributing, how we're influencing our environment. This might be a good time to take some moments and reflect in terms of, are we doing that in a positive way? Am I bringing the kind of energy into the world that I feel not only is best, but that I can best do for myself? So take some time, maybe later today, in this summer solstice day, if you happen to be practicing on the solstice itself, and reflect on what you're creating, what you're manifesting right now in your life. Come to the front of your mat. Place your blocks at the front of your mat so that they'll be waiting for you. When you stand at the front of your mat, make certain you've got enough space behind you to step back. Have a few inches between your feet. Internally rotate your legs so that you feel as though your heels are farther apart than your toes. Roll your shoulders together and down the back. And lift the crown of your head, that's the highest part of your head, up towards the sky. You might feel your chin lower a notch as you do that. That's good. Draw your low belly in slightly. Make your low belly still and flat. So as you breathe, you feel more expansion above your navel than you feel below your navel. If that feels too hard or too complicated, that's okay. Let that go. But if you can practice that, that's good. That will bring more expansion of the air in your rib cage. It's a little more energizing breath. Press your feet down, your fingertips down, and lift again the low belly and the crown of the head up. Close your eyes for just a moment. Practice that breathing with stillness in the low belly and expansion above the navel. And envision that pilot light, that little flame at that spot just above your navel. And each time you inhale, that flame grows a little bit brighter. As you exhale, it might dim slightly. To make this even more appropriate for the solstice, you might imagine a golden orb like a sun. And each time you inhale, it expands in intensity, and each time you exhale, it recedes a little bit. As you work, you're working to increase your energy. At the end of your practice, you shouldn't feel depleted. You should feel as though you still have enough energy to do maybe a whole nother practice. Open your eyes. If you can continue to breathe with this flat belly, do so. And on your next inhale, lift your arms high to the sky. And as you exhale, soften your knees and fold. And just dangle for a moment here, letting your fingertips brush your mat, relaxing your neck, decompressing the cervical vertebra. Slowly begin to stack your vertebra one by one from your tailbone through your low back, mid back, upper back, and neck. As you come upright, your head rights, ears over your shoulders, and bring your shoulder blades again together and down the back. Inhale, lift your arms high again. Exhale again, come into that little ragdoll fold. Relax. And Then this time we'll make a change. Bring your hands to your shins. Lengthen your spine until it's parallel to the mat. And then exhale, fold again, fingertips to the mat. Inhale, lift your arms high to the sky. Join your palms at the top. And then as you exhale, glide your thumbs to your heart. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, soften your knees as you fold. Bring your hands to your shins. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, easy fold. Inhale, arms rise high to the sky. Join your palms at the top. And exhale, glide the thumbs to the heart. Let's add on. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Now, fingertips come to the mat and take a big step back with your right leg. Excuse me, misspelled. Lower your knee and the top of your foot. Press your shin into the mat and lift your arms high. Now tuck your tailbone slightly down so you feel a stretch in the front of your right hip. Lower your hands to the mat. Level your fingertips with your front toe. Lift your back knee and step back to downward facing dog. That upside down V shape, like a pike position. Pause here and pedal your feet. Work through your calves, your ankles, the soles of your feet. Then come to stillness and lower your knees to the mat. Come to an easy tabletop. Now pause here. Don't adjust your hands and knees. They may be a little further apart than you'd like, but we're not going to be here long. Let your belly drop towards the mat. Lift your gaze. Lift your tailbone up. As you exhale, round your spine into cat pose and bring your hips all the way back to your heels. Inhale back to tabletop with the back bend. Curl your toes under. Exhale, lift to that pike, downward facing dog. Soften your knees, look forward, and walk your feet forward to your hands. Again, feet a few inches apart, internally rotate the feet. With your hands on your shins, lengthen your spine, take a full inhale. Exhale, fold. Knees soft. Don't worry about your hamstrings here. Inhale, lift your arms high to the sky, join your palms at the very top. And exhale, glide the thumbs to the heart. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold, fingertips to the mat. Align your fingers with your toes and step your left leg way back. Lower your knee and the top of your foot. Tucking your tailbone down towards the mat, lift your arms high. Alanasana, crescent lunge. Lower your hands, align your fingers with your front big toe. Lift your left knee and step back to your downward facing dog. Pause here. Feel free to pedal or stay in stillness. We're starting with a very simple cooling sun salutation. If there is such a thing as cooling and sun in the same sentence, it's a nice, easy flow to just gently warm up. Lower your knees. Come into your tabletop with a back bend. Let your belly drop. Round your spine and bring your hips all the way back to your heels. Inhale to tabletop with a back bend, curl your toes under. And then as you exhale, lift your downward facing dog. Soften your knees, look forward. Inhale. As you exhale, walk your feet forward to your hands. You can hop if that's in your practice. Bring your hands to the shins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise as you come to standing. Join your palms at the top. And exhale, glide the thumbs to the heart. Now we're going to do that one more time a little quickly before we move on. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Step your right leg way back. Lower your knee and the top of your foot. Inhale, lift your arms high to the sky. Exhale, plant your hands. Step to downward facing dog. Lower your knees. Inhale, the tabletop with a back bend. Exhale, round your spine, hips to heels, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop with a back bend, curl your toes under. And exhale to downward facing dog. Soften your knees, look forward as you inhale. Exhale, walk your feet forward to your hands. Bring your hands to your shins. Inhale as you lengthen your spine. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, arms rise as you come to standing. Join your palms. And exhale, glide your thumbs to the heart. Last one. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold, left leg. Takes a big step back. Lower your knee. Inhale, arms rise to the sky. Exhale, plant your hands level with your front toe. Step to downward facing dog. As you inhale, lower your knees. Come to your back bend. Exhale, round, hips to heels, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop with the back bend. Curl your toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. As you inhale, soften your knees, look ahead. Exhale, walk or pop your feet to your hands. Internal rotation as you plant. Bring your hands to your shins. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise high. Join your palms at the top. And exhale, glide the thumbs to the heart. Let's move on now. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, soft knees fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right leg steps back. Lower your knee and the top of your foot. Inhale, lift your arms high to the sky. Exhale, plant your hands level with your toe and step back, this time to a plank pose. Now, we're gonna make a change. Lift to downward facing dog. Do this on an inhale. Take a big inhale here. Exhale forward into plank. Think about rounding your spine as though you're in a cat pose. Inhale to your downward facing dog. And exhale forward into your plank. Now really contract your belly. Tuck your tailbone towards your heels. Inhale to downward facing dog. Exhale to plank. Pause. Inhale, shift forward on your toes. For the first one, lower your knees. Now your challenge here is to lower your hips, heart, and chin simultaneously and slowly, building strength in your arms. Make your legs long and parallel. Inhale. Lift your heart into a cobra. Exhale, come through tabletop, and then back to downward facing dog. Inhale, soften your knees, look forward. As you exhale, walk or hop your feet forward. Align your toes with your fingers. Get yourself back to the front of your mat. Hands to the shins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms high to the sky. Join your palms at the very top. And as you exhale, glide your thumbs to the heart. Let's take that on the other side. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, soft knee fold. Hands to the shins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands left leg. Takes a long step back. Lower your knee and the top of your foot. Inhale, reach your arms high to the sky. And as you exhale, lower your hands. Step back to plank pose, top of a push-up. Take an inhale to your downward facing dog and exhale forward into your plank, rounding your spine, really activating your low belly. Inhale to downward facing dog. Exhale to plank. One more time. Inhale, down dog. This plank is the one we'll hold. Shift forward on your toes. Option, lower your knees or straight-legged. Come all the way down to your belly. Inhale, lift your heart. Make your spine and your neck long. Resist the tendency to look high. Instead, look at the ground just a few inches ahead of you. And then come to tabletop and downward facing dog. Soften your knees. Look forward. Take an inhale. As you exhale, walk or hop your feet forward. Align your toes with your fingers. Bring your hands to your shins. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale, raise your arms to the sky. Join your palms and exhale, glide your thumbs to your heart. All right, let's move on. Inhale, arms reach, and exhale, easy fold. Right leg takes the big step back. This time, keep your knee lifted. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot and spin to face the long edge of the mat. Some simple side lunges, and let's add a twist. We haven't twisted the spine. We haven't rotated the spine much. So as you bend your left knee, plant your right hand and lift your left arm high. And as you come down and bend your right knee, we'll switch it up, lift your right arm high. So make this flowy. So you can use a little more leg muscle. Just kind of let your hands come lightly to the mat. Build a little more heat, a little more strength in the quads, and the hamstrings. Now the next time that you rotate to the right, that's going to be your last time. Take a bend into your left knee. Rotate to face the front of the mat and align your left foot so it's right in the center of your mat between your two hands. Make certain you have a long stance. You should not have lost any length. Plant your right foot heel to arch. Windmill your right arm up and over and come into Virabhadrasana 2. Arms level with your mat. Gaze right over your left middle finger. Turn your palms up. Inhale, straighten your front knee. Lift both arms high. Exhale, bend and press your arms down. Inhale and lift. And exhale, bend and press. Let's do that a couple more times, building a little more strength and heat in the legs. Now, one more time, and we'll hold this warrior two. So as your knee bends, pause. Reach your fingers away from your shoulders. Try to bring your knee right over your heel. We have a tendency sometimes, and I might have been doing this myself, to undercut that angle. Instead, challenge yourself. Try to bring your shin perpendicular to your mat. Take one more big inhale here for energy. Keep your low belly still if you can. Remember, that's what the work we're trying to do. As you exhale, windmill your hands down to the mat and lift your right heel up so you're in a long lunge. Step back to the top of your push-up. Shift forward on your toes. Now you can keep your knees straight or bend them. Come to a chaturanga or to belly. Inhale into your cobra or your up dog. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Think about lengthening your spine. The goal is not to touch the heels to the mat. There's no big prize for that. We're really trying to lengthen our spine. So think about lift your tailbone high. Imagine that your tailbone's like a hook and you're hooking it on a clothesline and your spine is just hanging from that clothesline, getting a little longer, decompressing. Soften your knees, look forward, walk or hop your feet forward to your hands, aligning your toes with your fingertips. Bring your hands to the shins. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lift your arms high to the sky. Join your palms at the very top, and as you exhale, glide the thumbs to the heart. We're going to do that to the other side. My back is going to be to you for a moment, so I hope you don't think I'm rude. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold, left leg takes the big step back. Okay. Now I am going to turn and come to the other end of my mat so that my back isn't to you. You can stay right where you are though. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Left leg takes the big step back. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot and spin. Turn your toes out. Now in order to build a little more strength, bring your palms to your heart and just take your side lunges without any kind of assistance with your arms. Now of course, if you're feeling weak today or if it's hot, you can certainly take your hands down. Let them support your upper body. But if you place your hands at your heart, you're building a little bit more strength in your legs and the muscles that wrap your torso, your core, abdominals and back muscles. Take one more bend into your left knee. And as you bend your right knee, pause, plant your hands and spin so that you're facing the front edge of your mat again. Your right foot is centered between your two hands. Without shortening your stance, plant your left foot. Windmill your left arm up and over. When I say plant your foot, what I'm looking for is a heel to arch alignment, as though you're standing on a tightrope or a balance beam. Check that your front knee is bent over your heel, that you're not shortening that knee, and lift your arms. If you feel, again, like you're building tension, tension can be good if it's 2 points pulling apart. But if it's causing you to have like shorter breath, or discomfort, maybe try turning your palms up and softening the pose. Gaze over your right hand. Then lift your arms high and straighten your right knee and bend and press. And lift and straighten and bend and press. A couple more times. Track your knee right over the center of your heel. The tendency might be to allow the knee to drop in towards your big toe. Resist that. Now the next time we bend, we'll hold. Again, monitor your energy. Palms up is always an option. Windmill your hands down to your mat on either side of your right foot. Step your right foot back to the top of a push-up. Shift forward. Come to belly or to chaturanga. Inhale to cobra or up dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Soften your knees, look ahead. Walk or hop your feet forward to your hands. Bring your hands to your shins, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise high to the sky. Join your palms at the top, and as you exhale, glide the thumbs to the heart. Close your eyes. Keeping your low belly still, breathe so that you feel the expansion above the navel and in your rib cage. Imagine your rib cage expanding and contracting evenly, side to side, front to back, top to bottom. As you inhale, envision that either tiny miniature sun, the glowing orb just above your navel, or that pilot, that flame. Each inhale, it glows brighter and stronger. Then, open your eyes. We'll take that one time on each side a little bit quicker. I'm going to step to the other side of my mat. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, soften your knees, fold, and step your right leg way back, long stance. Bring your left hand to the inside of your foot and spin. Take a bend into your right knee, and then a bend into your left knee. Take a bend into your right knee, and now hold the bend in the left knee. Pivot to face the short edge of your mat. Align your front foot between your two hands and plant your back foot heel to arch. Windmill your right arm up and over. Sync with your arms level. Turn your palms up. Straighten your front knee. Lift arms. Bend and press. Lift and straighten. And bend and press. Just one more. Lift and straighten. And then bend and press. Take one breath here. And as you exhale, windmill your right arm up and over. Step back to the top of a push-up. Shift forward on your toes. Lower to belly or chaturanga. Inhale to your cobra or your up dog. And exhale back to your downward facing dog. Take a big inhale here. Look forward. Soften your knees. Exhale. Walk your feet forward to your hands. Align your toes with your fingers. Bring your hands to your shins. Inhale as you lengthen. And exhale as you fold. Inhale, lift your arms high. Join your palms. Exhale, glide the thumbs to the heart. One more. I'm turning, you stay. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Left leg takes the big step back. Bring your right hand to the inside. Pivot. Take a bend into the left knee. Maybe open your arms out to the side as you take a bend to your right. Bend to the left and bend to the right. One more time, controlling this movement, building your stamina. And as you bend your right knee, pivot, plant your hands, step your right foot centered between your hands. Left foot is heel to arch alignment. Windmill your left arm up and over. Turn your palms up. Straighten your knee, lift your arms. Exhale and bend. Inhale as you straighten and lift. And exhale as you bend. Inhale, straighten and lift. Exhale and bend. Just one more like this. Lift and we'll bend and we'll hold. Gaze over your right hand. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring 2 hands down to the mat. Step back to the top of a push-up. Shift forward on your toes. If you're getting a little tired, lower your knees. Come all the way down to your belly. Inhale to your cobra or your up dog, and exhale back, downward facing dog. And then from here, we'll make a little change. Lower your knees and turn so you're facing the camera, or any way you can see me. Use a block or something underneath your hips to sit on. So I like to sit on my shins. I'll turn for just a moment to show you that I'll grab my block, medium height, sit on it. And that's a real comfortable position for me. You can certainly sit cross-legged. The important thing is that your spine is tall. We're going to practice Kapalabhati. We're going to give that inner fire, that inner sun, a little more energy. Place one hand beneath your navel on the low belly. Actually, I'm going to change that. Place the hand above your navel. We'll focus right here. So imagine that orb. This is the only part of you that you're really going to be thinking about here, is this circle right where your hand is. Kapalabhati is an active exhale. I'm going to give a very brief primer on it. There's one elsewhere on the channel that you can review if this is brand new to you. But very quickly, with your mouth closed, imagine that a gnat's flown up your nose. Wouldn't be too difficult to do if you were here with me now. So just take a quick, sharp exhale through your nose. You'll feel this area right here around your navel contracting. That's the only thing that's working, is this right here. Everything else is relaxed. We'll take this slow, about, here's a good rate. In about 20. If you lose coordination, just pause, come back to normal breathing, and wait for us to catch up to you. So sit tall, hand just above the navel, lift the crown of your head up, finish an exhalation right here. Take a big full inhale. Exhale just about half of the air from your lungs. So now you've got just half, 50% residual, and begin. Continue. Remember, you're only exhaling as you relax your belly. Air comfortably and naturally comes back in. Now finish an exhalation. Last one here. Take a full inhale. And just return to normal breathing. Kapalabhati stimulates your digestion. It helps to feed that fire. It's toning for your abdominals. It's also energizing and heating. So this might not be the best practice if you're doing this just before bed, although I'd say this whole practice is not great for just before bed. This is a more stimulating practice, and this Kapalabhati breathing is a stimulating breath. Let's take a second round now. Place your hands above your navel. We'll take 20. Remember, this is an active exhale with a passive inhale. Just allow the air to come back naturally without trying. All right, sitting up tall. Take an exhalation here. Follow that with a full inhale. Then exhale half of the air from your lungs and begin. Last few, and then exhale completely. Lower your hands, return to normal, easy breathing. Okay. Coming off of your mat, coming off of your block rather, or whatever prop you're sitting on, place your blocks forward of your mat. With your hands close to the front of your mat, find a tabletop position. On your inhale, come into your back bend, your cow pose. Exhale, deep round. Inhale, into your cow, your back bend. Curl your toes under and exhale to downward facing dog. Soften your knees, look forward. Step your left foot forward by your left hand. So I'm going to come to about there, and I want my toes to align with my fingers so I can scooch, or I can even assist with my left hand. This time, imagine a racing stripe down the center of your mat. And when you plant your right foot, move it a little bit to the right. Bring your left thumb into your left hip crease and lift your right arm high as you lift your torso. Match both arms and sink a little deeper into your left knee. Virabhadrasana 1. Take a big inhale here. And as you exhale, start to reach forward. Bring your spine parallel to the mat. Keep your arms by your ears and grab a block. Sandwich it. Lift your arms so that they're by your ears as much as you can. Now lift your upper body again. Now your job is to try to keep your low body very still as you do this. Bring your spine, your arms parallel to the earth and lift. Exhale and inhale as you lift. Take one more. Exhale, forward, pause, and lower your block to the mat. So lift both of your blocks, highest level, gaze at your right foot and shorten your stance just a little bit, about 8 inches. Again, your feet are widthwise, not in alignment. Come all the way up. So again, I think of this as parallel railroad tracks. With your hands on your hips, lift your back heel and pivot slightly so that your back hip, your right hip, comes forward and aligns with your left. So if you had headlights pointing out of your 2 hip bones, they'd be pointing straight forward. With your hands on your 2 hip bones, imagine you've got a beach ball behind you and you're gripping it with your elbows. Inhale as you lift high, straighten your legs, make them very active. As you exhale, start to fold. Now, I'm not the most flexible, so if you can go further, do it, but this is the key. Bring your hands to your front leg and lengthen your spine as you fold at the hips. At some point, hopefully you can bring your hands to your blocks. However, if bringing your hands to your blocks requires you to round your spine, like cat pose, keep your hands on your front thigh. Support your upper body with your hands on your thigh and keep your spine long. Some of you will easily get your hands to your blocks. So you find what works for you, and if you want to fold further, do so. But remember, think about almost being in a back bend in your spine. Lift your tailbone. Let your belly, your heart, reach towards the mat. Think about it bringing an elegance to this, and usually rounding our spine, particularly our upper back, does not lend that kind of elegance to the pose. Just breathe here and imagine that your breath is flowing through channels along your spine, passing through your nostrils, over your throat, all the way down to the base of your spine, your tailbone. And as you exhale, it's reversing that path. Remember to try, and with these long holds, it's a good opportunity to practice, to keep your low belly still so the expansion is happening in your belly above your navel and your rib cage. Now let's work into that solar plexus area a little bit more. This right here is a good hamstring stretch. Let's hold it a moment longer just to make certain that you've achieved that. This is Parsvottanasana, a pyramid pose.
Then soften your front knee. Let your blocks move forward a little bit. Bring weight onto your left foot and lift your right leg up as high as you can. Now, it's okay if you lift your hip a little bit. We're not going to worry too much about some special form. Bend your left knee and lower your right shin down to the mat, just behind, like you're coming into a curtsy. And then extend both legs, coming back to your standing splits. Exhale as you round, and think about getting very tiny, squeezing the solar plexus, your belly. Inhale, extend and expand like you're a balloon blowing up. Move through this compression, your exhale, and this expansion a few times. Squeezing in that little solar plexus area, third chakra, and expanding and stretching as you lift. One more time, and the next time that you lift, just pause. Now pause here with your left block, move it forward a little bit to the left, bring your right hand to your right hip. This is optional. If you're feeling stable, start to turn your belly towards the right and lift your right arm high into a half moon. Soften your knee, lower your right hand back to your block. Take a big step back with your right foot. Let's plant the right hand. Lift your left arm high for a big twist. Bring your left knuckles to your right hip. Roll the shoulder back and expand, extend. Replace your left hand on the mat. Step back to plank pose. If you're feeling a little tired now, come right back to down dog. Take a vinyasa, option to lower your knees if you like. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. And soften your knees, look forward. Step your right foot forward. I usually use my hand to assist because I know how important it is to line the toes with the fingers. Move your left foot a little bit to the left before you plant it. Bring your right hand into your right hip crease and push it back and extend your left arm forward with your arm by your ear. Lift your torso with both arms high. So this is going to be pretty energizing. Fire up your low belly and begin to hinge forward. Try to keep your arms by your ears. Grab your block again, sandwich it. Bring your arms by your ears and inhale as you lift. Exhale as you extend forward. Let's do that a few times. Big inhale, give yourself some energy. Try to keep your low body still. Like your low body, your legs are chiseled out of marble. One more complete round. And as your spine comes parallel to the mat, pause and lower your block. Lift your other block, highest level, and move your left foot forward, about 8 inches. Rise, come to standing. Check that your 2 hips are parallel, facing straight forward. If you need to draw your back hip forward, lift your heel pivot before you press your heel back down. Imagine you're grabbing a beach ball behind you to keep your spine long. Notice I'm coming into a little back bend, and I'd like to try to maintain that as I start to fold. And when the moment your hamstring starts to speak to you, place your hands on your front thigh. That will help support your upper body so your hamstring will feel a little safer releasing. Of course, you can take your hands to your blocks. You can stay here. Know that your objective is to find a stretch in your hamstring of your right foot. Lift your tailbone. Breathe along the spine, just like you did before. Creating a long, smooth inhale and exhale. Keep your low belly a little still. Feed that glowing ball of energy in your solar plexus. Just a few more breaths. If you've lost the intensity of the hamstring stretch and feel like you'd like to find more, think about lifting your tailbone up towards the sky, creating more length between your heel and your hip. So your right heel and the back of your right hip. Some of you might be more folded. That's A-okay as long as you've got a long spine. Remember, you're molding your body here. If that's you, lift your upper body till you're parallel to the mat and soften your right knee. Move your blocks forward a little bit so they're going to stay under your shoulders, and lift your left leg high. A-okay to lift your hip a little. And then take a bend in your knees, coming into your curtsy. Here you do get to round the spine because we're getting small, we're compressing. Inhale and get large and expansive. Exhale, small and compressing. Inhale, extending, getting big. 2 more times. The next time you lift your leg, pause. You can stay right here. Perhaps you'd like to move your right block a little bit over to the right. Take your left hand to your hip and turn your heart and your belly to the left. Lift your left arm high. And look down. Soften your knee as you bring both hands to your block and take a big step back with your left foot. Plant your left hand on the mat or on the block if it's feeling too far away, and lift your right arm high into a twist. Bring your knuckles to your left hip and enjoy a deep twist here. Lower both hands to the mat. Step back to plank. This time, everybody shift forward. Choose to lower knees. We're straight-legged. Come all the way down to your belly. Flip onto your back. Come onto your back. Bend your knees. Have your heels close to your hips. Pause for just a moment. Place one hand on your solar plexus, just above your navel. Relax, breathe into that area. Let it rise and fall. If it's gripping and you're having a hard time relaxing, let that be your job. A muscle can only be strong when it can also relax. Then bring your knees into your chest. Circle your knees with one hand on each knee. And then switch the direction of your circle. Extend your feet up towards the sky. Bring your hands behind your knees. And then interlace your hands and place them behind your head. On your exhale, lift your head and shoulders off the mat. Pause for a moment at the top, and then inhale and just roll your spine and your head back down. Exhale, lift your head, your shoulders, as much of your upper back as you can. And inhale, just lay them back down. Do that a few times. Keep a little space between your chin and your chest, and think about working deep and slow. We're going for a quality here of repetitions. So as you reach the top, the height that you can attain, pause for a moment there. Feel like you're working deep into the deep layers of the muscles. Now take one more repetition. One more lift, and one more lower. Bend your knees, draw them into your chest, rest. So you might be like, well, that was pretty easy. Maybe it was. Let's try something else. Lift your feet, again, up towards the sky. This time, take your hands by your hips. Press your low back down. And now, imagine reversing this motion. So instead of peeling the head and the shoulders off the mat, we're going to peel our hips off the mat. Now, the key is to do it with as much ease and control as you did in the other way. So lift and lower with no jerking, with a smoothness and a control that you could stop anywhere. So if you're using a lot of momentum and swinging your legs, see if you can do it more slowly with a little bit more control. It might help to close your eyes and just feel these muscles and focus, if you can, in particular, on your low belly. Let's just take 2 more. One more complete round. Then, with your hips on the mat, bend your knees. Just draw your knees into your chest. Relax for a moment. So again, paying homage to the sun here, third chakra work. Remember, third chakra is that chakra of strength and self-esteem and confidence. So this practice, you can pull this up anytime that you feel like you're lacking that. The summer solstice is a time for us to reflect, but it's only addressing us towards things that we can be thinking about all the time. It's like a reminder. But our self-esteem, our power, our confidence, our resilience, those are important all the time. Extend your feet up towards the sky. Interlace your hands behind your head. This time, we are going to lift the head and the shoulders and the hips at the same time. So you're going to make like a U shape with your spine. So take a big breath in. And as you exhale, lift your head and your shoulders and lift your pelvis off the mat. So it feels like you're balancing just on a couple vertebrae right in the middle of your back. And then lay your head and your hips back down. Inhale. Exhale, lifting your hips, your head, your shoulders, upper back. Inhale, lower. So let's do that a few more times at your own pace, but remember, as slowly as you can, experiment with pausing the movement, like you're pausing the film if you are filming yourself. That will show you if you have that control. Exhale as you lift, and inhale as everything comes back down. A couple more, working deep. You can close your eyes if it helps. It might help you to feel what you're doing. Get a little bit more in the movement. Let's take one more complete. And then lower and bring your knees into your chest again. This might be deceptively challenging, so if you're feeling like those were not complicated or fancy enough, I suggest maybe wait a day, maybe 2, and see how you feel. You may notice that you're working harder than you think. That's perfect, isn't it? Lower your left foot to the mat and cross your right thigh over your left thigh and draw your knees back in. And then with your left hand on your right knee and your right hand on your left knee, glide them down your shins and pull your heels slightly towards your hips. So you're bringing your legs into more of an external rotation. Think about relaxing your hips. If the feeling is so intense that you cannot relax, then that's a good signal that you've got to slide your hands up towards your knees a little bit more. Pause here. Then slide your hands back up to your knees and lower your left foot back to the mat. Now, slide your right ankle to the top of your left knee. Lift your left foot again, interlace your hands around your hamstring and pull your knee in. Relax your right hip. It's all about the right hip here. It helps to flex the right foot so that your shin is a little contracted. That will help stabilize your knee. Replace your left foot on the mat. Now, open your arms, move your hips over to the right a couple of inches. Again, lift your left foot off the mat and drop both of your legs over to the right. Now you notice I kept this figure 4 shape. If this isn't very comfortable for you, by all means, uncross and just stack your legs as you go into this twist. I've got lots of bugs here. I've been swallowing just a few. Lift your knees back up to center, and with your feet on the mat, rebalance your hips. Extend your left leg straight. I guess I can't do it straight, but just imagine that I am. Draw your right knee in, and with your arm on the inside of your knee, take a hold of either your outer foot or your calf or your ankle and pull your knee down towards your armpit, like a half-happy baby pose. And you can extend your leg to any degree that you can. Again, no tension. This should feel good. And open your leg over to the right. Lift your foot back up. With your left hand, take a hold of your right toes and bring the knee over, your leg over to the left and back up. We're just going to do that a couple of times. With your right hand on your foot, open it to the right, lift back up, and with your left hand on your foot, cross it over the midline of your body for an easy twist, and then come back up. Just back and forth. You can take as much bend in the leg as serves you. Take one more complete repetition. And then we'll just draw the right knee in and lower your foot back down. Oh, for heaven's sake, do you need to be right there right now? Cross your left thigh over your right thigh. Draw your knees in. Bring your hands to your knees, opposite knees. Slide your hands down towards your ankles. Pull your feet towards you. You can keep your hands on your shins. You don't have to pull your heels in at all. If you find that it's impossible to relax your hips comfortably as you're doing this, then that's a good cue to just keep your hands on your knees. Okay, relax and drop your right foot to the mat. Bring your left ankle to your right knee. Lifting your right foot, interlace your hands around your right thigh. Do a little figure 4 stretch here. Our hips were working hard before, so this will give them an opportunity to open, release any tension that they may have gathered. Replace your right foot on the mat. Now, if you uncrossed your legs in the last twist, maybe just uncross them now. Do move your hips to the left and then drop your legs to the right. And you can stay wherever it works. Remember, these poses that we hold, the idea is that we're relaxing. So if anything is keeping you from relaxing, you might need to ease that out. Maybe it's a prop underneath your knees. Maybe it's uncrossing the legs. A muscle that's tense is not going to soften and stretch. Now lift your legs back to center. Extend your right leg straight. Bring your left arm to the inside of your knee. Take a hold of the outside of your foot. Pause here. Pull your knee down towards your armpit. This is a half of a happy baby. I don't know if that has a Sanskrit name. I'm not sure if the ancient yogis did happy baby poses. But of course, we know that most of our poses we do are pretty modern. Then extend your leg to any degree that feels good, and then open your left leg to the left. Lift your leg up and take a hold of your foot with your right. Let's take the leg over the midline of the body. Come back and forth. There's no benefit from pushing your leg straighter than it wants to go, so just work with it. We're creating some mobility in the hip. I heard somebody call this hip flossing. I thought that sounded really nice. I'm not sure why flossing my hip sounds like such a good idea. We'll take one more complete repetition. And then come back to center. Replace your foot on the mat. Extend your legs straight. I hope you don't have a dog on your mat like I do. Bring your hands by your hips. Lift a hip and slide your hands underneath so that you're sitting on your hands, but you're actually sitting more on your wrists. Now, if you have a neck condition or maybe eyes or a propensity for migraines, this next pose may not be indicated for you. You may go right into your Shavasana now. But if you feel like you need more heart opening, a big opening in the front body, and a release of tension in the neck and jaw, come with me into fish. Press your elbows deep down into the mat and then begin to bend them so your upper body lifts. Draw your shoulder blades together, drop your head back so you're looking behind you, and maybe move your jaw. I think this is where fish came from, the way we open and close our jaw like a fish. This pose really helps to release tension in the jaw. It's a great throat chakra and heart chakra pose. Then bring your head back onto the mat, slide your hands out, and bring your hands to your belly. Now this is Shavasana, so this is your pose. So if you don't like your hands on your belly,